emptiness. When we have theoretically understood the illusory nature of the world, can we free ourselves and wake up from it? The answer is yes. As we just discussed, the world only exists in the present moment. In fact, even the present moment doesn't actually exist. This is because we can divide a second into a millionth, a 10 millionth, 100 millionth, and even a billionth. In the end, it becomes empty and non-existent. From the perspective of Buddhism, the concept of infinitesimal in philosophy and mathematics, which suggests that any matter can be infinitely divided, is wrong. For example, $10 can be divided into 10 $1. $1 can be further divided into 10 cents. A 10 cent can be divided into 10 1 cents. And 1 cent can continue to be divided. In this way, there is no obstacle that prevents it from being divided further. However, such thinking is not realistic. In fact, objects cannot be infinite. After a finite object is repeatedly divided, it ultimately becomes empty. While our mind can infinitely divide it without any limitation, the volume of the object is limited and will eventually be fully divided. Once it is completely divided, it corresponds to the Buddhist concept of emptiness. Quantum mechanics has proven that all particles can ultimately become waves, and there is zero-point energy in the vacuum, which is the real foundation of the world. In other words, whether it is the solid mountains, rivers, and earth, or the huge celestial bodies, they are essentially energy. When the energy density is high enough, particles can instantly arise from pure energy. When thousands of particles gather together, the world gradually forms. You can carefully ponder and analyze whether our current life is real or just an illusory dream. We don't deny our daily life, just like in a dream. We cannot prove that the dream doesn't exist. However, in the Buddha's realm, everything we perceive is illusory. Inner freedom and non-attachment. The Buddhist worldview tells us that we shouldn't be numb like zombies just because the world is illusory. Nor should we consider the world perfect. Otherwise, once we encounter some ugly phenomena, we won't be able to face them. Actually, the illusory nature of the world is not contradictory to our daily life. We can still work and develop our careers because we need to support our families and make a living. However, our attachment to the world won't be as strong as before. With less attachment and a broader mind, we will do everything with ease and freedom. We will live with inner freedom. Whatever we do, it will be like playing. Just have fun with it. There is no need to be so stressed, so attached, or so concerned about every little thing. Whether it's marriage, relationships, family, or other matters, we will no longer be concerned about gains and losses. If we succeed, that's great. If we fail, it doesn't matter. We understand the nature of the world. We gather when it's time to gather. We separate when it's time to separate. We possess when it's time to possess, and we lose when it's time to lose. If we cannot change the situation, we will face it instead of avoiding it. We will not have a sense of despair. Instead, we will handle everything smoothly, harmoniously, perfectly, and naturally. So, we should have a correct worldview and understand the nature of the world. Don't consider the world perfect like the Pure Land we imagine. Of course, the world is also good in some aspects. However, whether it is good or not depends entirely on the state of our mind. In this world, only Shakyamuni Buddha knows the mentality of ordinary people. He understands very well what money is. Therefore, he has shown us a path, that is, a way of life for us. How should we live? How can we live a more relaxed, happier, and more meaningful life? He has explained it very clearly, and you can refer to his teachings. In fact, everyone can live a happy life. Even a beggar can live a happy life if he wants. When he accepts his current situation and makes efforts every day to do what he can, his situation will gradually improve. In the future, he may even have his own home. The beggar used to be homeless. However, if he works hard, I believe that one day he may have his own home. Then he may gradually improve his home, protecting it from wind and rain. Later, he may meet another beggar, get married and have children. Afterward, he may build an even bigger house. Therefore, even a beggar can live a happy life. So, how can we attain happiness? The most important thing is to be content and grounded. Those who are content and grounded are happy. If you don't face reality, just like a woman who wants to get married but is always picky, then you will suffer. Some people, on one hand, don't want to renounce worldly life, and on the other hand, when looking for a partner, they are always unsatisfied with others for having a short nose, big mouth, small eyes, being too short, too fat, or too thin, and just want to find someone like Wang Lihom. Actually, it's quite easy to live a happy life. We don't need to discuss the case of us monastics. As lay people, if you don't want to renounce worldly life and want to live happily as a layperson, it's actually quite easy. Just do what you want to do earnestly. Do what you can do and what you want to do, and you will be happy. If you always want to get things beyond your reach, such as the stars in the sky, which is impossible because you don't have the merit. If you always want to get things beyond your merits, you will definitely suffer. Everyone's merits are limited. If you strive to do what you can within the scope of your merits, you will be happy. Why don't you do what you are capable of? If you complain about having a low salary and want to find a higher paying job, you will definitely suffer. You may not be satisfied with your current job. However, from my observation, some janitors live a happy life, dancing to disco music while sweeping the floor. So it depends on how you live your life. If you want to be happy, you can definitely be happy. In this world, even a fly or an ant can live happily. When they crawl around and see someone drop a grain of rice, they will happily pick it up and bring it back home. Actually, living beings are essentially the same. When a mindful person sees such scenes, they will realize that living beings are essentially the same. Everyone's merits are different, so you cannot compare with others. Can you compare with others? You only have such merits. Just live your life according to the merits you have. Of course, merits can be changed. You can actively accumulate merits. By serving others and benefiting sentient beings, your merits will increase, right? Therefore, anyone who seeks happiness can attain it, unless they don't want to attain it. If you always want to get things beyond your merits, you will definitely suffer. For example, if your father is a prince but not the emperor, you might feel unhappy, thinking, I could have been the crown prince, but now I can only be a prince. Conversely, a child from an ordinary family would appreciate their parents even if they are farmers and feel happy. Therefore, we shouldn't compare with others. Once your greed arises and you want to get things beyond your reach, you will definitely suffer. Today, I have clearly explained what a happy life is. So, it's quite easy to attain happiness. All right, that's all for today's lecture.